to another professional prep video. In today's video, we'll be talking about printing arrays in Java. So, there are a ton of ways on how to print or display an array in Java, but in this video, I'll talk about the three main ways of displaying an array. That is the for loop, while loop, and an enhanced for each loop. So, to begin, the first way of displaying an array is with the use of a for loop. So, let's just demonstrate how that works. So first of all, we'll need an array. So let's just do an integer array. So int array, we'll call it static array since we're not doing it with dynamic arrays yet. Then you have equal sign, curly brace, and inside this we'll have 5 elements. So we'll do 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Alright, cool. So there is our array. I preferably like keeping the array right next to the int, but it's up to you. You can keep it spaced or not. So now to do the for loop, let's just do for, and then what we're trying to do is print out each index in the array. So first we have to have the index equal to 0. And then we have it print all the way up till the index is less than 5. And as explained in our for loop video previously, or like a couple of videos before, you need a counter. So it'd be index plus plus. Alright, so this is the general structure of our for loop, and inside this for loop we would have a system.out.println line, and inside this we would have the name of our array, which is static array, and then the brackets, and inside the bracket we would have what's in the for loop. So in our case it's index, so let's put index. Alright, so now, if you run this code, you should... Oh, that is because I forgot my semicolon. So let's put that real quick. Alright. As you can see, it prints out 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So the for loop clearly works. Now, let me just explain it once again, just so you guys understand it better. So basically, in index equals 0, you are declaring and initializing index. So you basically have the for loop go through each index in the array, and you print it out and use index plus plus as a counter, so it knows when to... Well, no. Index is less than 5 would be where you stop. So once the index plus plus goes all the way to 5, the for loop should stop. And this can change depending on how many elements you have in the array. So example, say if you have like 100 elements, you can have it go up to indexes less than 100, and it will stop at that point. So now that I showed you how to do it with a for loop, let me show you how to do it with a while loop. We just do a multi-line comment, and I'll comment for loop. Alright, so similar to a for loop, you'd first have to have index equals 0, so you initialize the index, then you have the while, and then you have a parenthesis, and this is the general structure of it. Inside this, you would have the index is less than 5, and inside the while loop, you would have a system.out.println statement, very similar to our for loop. And like our for loop, we need to increment index so that we know when it stops. So we'll do index plus plus and then a semicolon. So this is the general structure of how to print using a while loop. Similar to the for loop, we just have the initialized variable here. This is our loop control variable. Then we stop when the index is less than 5. and we increment. And every time we go through the loop, we print out an index of the array, very similar to the for loop. So now I'm going to show you the third third possible way of displaying an array. I'm going to label this while loop. And the third way is the enhanced for each loop. Obviously, this might sound intimidating, so let me go over it so you guys will be comfortable with it. So you'll use the for, and then it's very similar to the structure of a for loop. Right, so we have the open bracket and a closing bracket. Alright, cool. Let me scroll down just so you guys can see it a little better. Alright, cool. So basically we have int element, or we can do int index. Let's do int index since we are talking about the index. So for every index in the array we have, which is called static array, what this colon means is in each. So for each index in static array, and then you do what you need to do. In our case, we want to print out an element. So let's just do system.out.println index. So if you run this, it should print out every single element in the array, which it does, 200, 300, 400, 500, and 600. Basically, this is the for each enhanced for each loop. You have index you have for every index in the array name, which is static array, you print out the index. You can also do this with strings, booleans, doubles, and any other primitive data type array. It's not just integers. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. Other than that, please like and subscribe.